Okay, YouTube, this is May 8th, 2011, approximately 12:30 in the afternoon, and make a little update video as to what's going on with our Project 99 Dodge Avenger. This will probably be the last update video on this vehicle for a while, until we can bring things together better. So, the vehicle's on ramps. The oil pan's been pulled, drained all the oil out, had to separate the exhaust manifold from the head because the bolts holding the collection pipe to the manifold is going to break off, and they never bothered to do it, so they just dropped the manifold when they put the engine in. So that's the way I did it. The reason for pulling the oil pan in the first place was a theory that was presented to me by a mechanic in the area who said that the crankshaft may not be the same. Maybe the reason for the vehicle running as poorly as it is. It still runs very poor, misses, check engine light on, saying multiple cylinder misfires, no power. I mean, it's just not running well at all. So the thing that the mechanic said was that the timing marks or timing teeth on the crankshaft, because the crank in this engine is actually out of a 96 neon. If you've seen the previous videos, you know that the block and the crankshaft is 96 neon, and then all the rest of this is 99 Avenger. And mechanic says that maybe the timing teeth that works in conjunction with the crankshaft position sensor could be different, which would be causing it to run as poorly as it is. And that goes along with the fact that the Dodge dealership computer, they hooked it up to that, and the computer at the Dodge dealership says that the engine is out of time. And even though we had a mechanic take all the covers off and everything and look at the timing marks for the belt, and that was exactly perfect, the computer says it's out of time. So that seemed to make sense. And I'll show you here in just a second the original crankshaft that I did a comparison to. Okay, so here's the original crankshaft that came out of the original block 99 Dodge Avenger 2.0, and it's still, you know, rusty from the fact that it had a blown head gasket and water in the crank case for a significant period of time. But in any event, these right here, these are the timing teeth or marks that work in conjunction with the crankshaft position sensor. And there's 4 on this side, and then on the reverse there's 3. And the idea was that maybe the distance between these notches or teeth could be different between the crankshafts, the width of these teeth themselves, the depth, or the overall placement on the rotation of the crankshaft on this counterweight here. So, and they said that if there's any difference in the two between the 99 Avenger and 96 Neon, that that can cause you know, the out of timing and misfiring and all that. So I made a little makeshift tool just designed to measure the width of these gaps here, the distance of these individual teeth. Of course, I counted the teeth, and then I used a tape measure to measure the position of the placement on the timing marks here between the say the edge here, and then where this first timing mark starts, and then where this last timing mark ends, all the way down to this next notch over here. And I did it for the whole orientation of these timing marks, and transversed those readings over to the crankshaft that's currently in the engine. So here's just another look at the timing marks on the crankshaft. This is the reverse of these marks here. You've got 1, 2, 3 notches, and then the end, and this is the end of the crankshaft rotation. So I measured the distance between the end of the crankshaft rotation and the overall orientation on these marks, and then transferred the measurements from this crankshaft, and then I went over to the car and I dropped the oil pan on it and measured all the same measurements and orientations on the crankshaft that's currently in the engine, and so I found no distinguishable difference between the crankshaft from the 96 Neon that's in the engine and the crankshaft that's right here, the original crankshaft to the car. Okay, so that's basically what we've done on the car so far. With the crankshaft ruled out as the problem for the engine not running properly. It's either computer issue related or it's wiring issue related, and either one of those problems is something that we just didn't want to have to deal with. So what we're basically doing, or what I'm basically doing, is I'm going to put the oil pan back on. It's got 2 bolts holding on. I'm going to put the rest of the bolts in it. I bought some oil to put back in the car, put the exhaust manifold back up on the head with the gasket, put it all back together, get it running, take it down off the ramps, load it up on the tow dolly, and I'm going to take it to the owner's house until we can come up with the money, locate a reasonably priced computer engine ECM, and hope and pray that that solves the problem, because they're not exactly what you would call cheap. In the meantime, it will free up this space that this car is currently occupying for our next project up, which is my 98 Ford Escort ZX2 Sport parts engine, which I'm going to do a few more things to it, double check that tranny, see if that tranny is salvageable. Already know the motor runs. Put that car over here, start the process of removing the motor and trans, and then we'll eventually come back to the 99 Avenger if and when finances allow. In the meantime, we're not short on projects in the area. I have as of yet to profile my lawnmower that I got for free, which I know there's a lot of fans on these little 2-cycle lawnmowers. I've got that. Then I've got the Honda CT Trail 90 in the house. So I've got more than my share of projects. But anyway, that's what the current update is on the 99 Avenger. Checked the crankshaft out, thought that was the problem. Crankshaft seems to check out. Done everything else that we know to do on this car, short of replacing the ECM. And our options are either try to find a salvage ECM, reasonably priced, which of course these Dodges are application specific, so this is a 5-speed standard, which means the ECM has to come out of a car with a 5-speed standard, not an automatic. So we got to make sure the numbers match and all that. Either that, or there's a company through O'Reilly's Auto Parts that you could ship our existing ECM to, and they can rebuild it. The problem with having this ECM shipped out is they'll rebuild it regardless of whether there's anything wrong with it or not. So they won't diagnose it. They'll just strip it down and completely rebuild it for a price. But that's where we are with the 99 Dodge Avenger at this point. It's in automotive limbo at this time until we can figure it out. So thanks for watching, and comments are always welcome.